Let's just get this out of the way up front. $900,000 is not cheap. Anywhere else in the country, that's a luxury home. But in San Diego County, that's entry level in a lot of areas. And if you're a first-time buyer trying to figure out where you can actually buy something under $900,000, this video is going to give you 5 strong options across the county that are worth a serious look.
This should be very exciting.
To give you some perspective on how we got here, I've been doing this since 2004. And back in 2006, right before the financial crash, there was a period where you could not find a detached home anywhere in San Diego for under $550,000 unless you're willing to go to the hood. That was the entry level threshold back then. Today, that number is close to $850,000 or more in many parts of the county. And again, that's for a detached home. And that's not meant to scare you. It's meant to ground you in reality so you know exactly what you're working with.
Reality sucks.
So if you're trying to stay under $900,000, these are 5 areas I'd point you towards. They're not ranked in any specific order. Each one has its trade-offs and each one fits a different buyer type. Now, real quick, I'm Karl, your San Diego realtor, and I've been helping first-time buyers find their perfect first home since 2004. Now, if you want to stay ahead of this market, your easiest and best resource is going to be this channel. So be sure to like and subscribe. All right, now, before we get into those neighborhoods, let me set some expectations on what this price range actually looks like. When we talk about buying under $900,000 in San Diego, I want you to have a clear picture of what that actually means in today's market. On the detached side, a single family home entry level pricing typically starts in the high 700s and stretches into the low to mid 800s depending on where you're looking. If you're open to condos and townhomes, the range widens. You're looking at the mid 550s up to mid 800s, depending on the area and the community. Now, here's what comes with this price range for some properties. Oftentimes, you'll find entry-level communities that have HOAs, especially for condos and townhomes. Some are reasonable, some will add a real chunk to your monthly payment, and some will make you wonder what the hell your money's actually paying for. Now, this isn't always going to be the case on the detached side, but most definitely going to be the case for townhomes and apartments. You should also expect some compromises. Maybe it's the size of the home, maybe it's the age of the property, maybe it's the commute, maybe it's the amenities nearby. At this price point in San Diego, you're not getting everything on your wish list, but you can absolutely get into a solid home if you know where to look and what trade-offs you're comfortable with. That's what this video is about. I'm gonna walk you through 5 areas, show you what you can realistically expect in each one, and help you figure out which trade-offs make sense for your life. First up, Rancho San Diego. And full disclosure, I grew up in this area, so I know it really, really well. Rancho San Diego, or just known as Rancho as the locals call it, is technically part of Spring Valley. It's the east side though, 91978 is the zip code specifically. It borders Jamul, El Cajon, and the southern edge of Mount Helix. It sits at the end of the 94 freeway, which tends to have a little less traffic than the 8, and it's very well positioned as a central hub of East County. In terms of pricing, detached homes often land in the high 700s to the high 800s. Compared to what you'd pay closer to the coast or in central San Diego, you're getting significantly more space for your money here. You're gonna get larger lots, more room to breathe, and the area is well developed, younger than the west side of Spring Valley, and has a solid suburban infrastructure. Plenty of shopping, dining, and parks. It's not like you're moving to the middle of nowhere. It's a fully built out community here in Rancho. Now, the trade-off is distance. You're a bit of a drive to any of our beaches and to downtown or Petco Park. If your weekend plans revolve around the coast or downtown, you're gonna feel that distance. But here's what you get in return: space. Rancho isn't compact like coastal areas or our metro. You're getting real yards, real room between you and your neighbor, and a pace of life that's noticeably more relaxed. And for a lot of first-time buyers, that trade-off is more than worth it. So who's Rancho San Diego good for? It's good for buyers who want space, bigger lots, and a more suburban lifestyle, and who are willing to trade proximity to the coast and to downtown for that. It's a strong fit for remote workers, people whose jobs are in East County, or anyone who just values having more room to spread out. And who is it not ideal for? Someone who needs to be closer to the beach, wants a short commute to central San Diego, or prioritizes walkability to urban amenities. That's just not what Rancho offers, and it doesn't pretend to either. Mira Mesa is one of the most popular neighborhoods in San Diego for a reason. It sits in a central location relative to some of the biggest job hubs in the county. Sereno Valley, the tech corridor along the 56, and it's got easy freeway access to both the North and South County. For a lot of buyers, that central positioning is the #1 draw to Mira Mesa for them. On the pricing side, condos in Mira Mesa typically fall in the mid 600s to high 700s. Detached homes are tighter at this price point. You're often looking at the mid 800s and pushing towards 900 or slightly above. So if you're dead set on a single family home under 850,000, inventory is going to be limited here, and you'll need to be patient and ready to move fast when something comes up. And it's probably going to be in pretty original shape from the 1950s. Now let's talk about lots. The detached homes at entry level pricing in Mira Mesa do sit on smaller lots compared to places like Rancho San Diego or San Marcos, but I don't want to oversell that as a negative because the yards are still functional. You can still host barbecues very easily. Your dog's gonna have plenty of room to run around. Your kids can play safely in the backyard. For a first-time buyer, these lots absolutely get the job done. The trade-off in Mira Mesa is the traffic. Mira Mesa Boulevard during rush hour is, well, if you know, you know. It's not a hidden secret that this area gets congested. What you're getting is location access and a well-established community with good amenities, restaurants, and a real sense of neighborhood identity. Mira Mesa is going to be a great fit for buyers who prioritize being central. It's close to work, it's close to shopping, it's close to freeways, and who are also comfortable with a condo or a moderately sized detached home. It's not ideal for buyers who want a large yard, a quiet suburban setting, or who are especially sensitive to traffic. If rush hour congestion stresses you out, factor that into your decision when looking at Mira Mesa. Moving north, I'm grouping these two together because they share a similar value proposition for first-time buyers. This is North County Inland, and it's one of the areas where your money stretches the furthest in San Diego County. If getting more house for your dollar is a priority, this is where you should be looking. The pricing in these areas is pretty broad. Condos and townhomes in this zone can start in the mid 550s and go up from there. Detached homes often fall in the high 700s and then move into the 800s. And you're generally getting more square footage and more lot than you would closer to the coast or in central San Diego. Some of the detached inventory here will give you 3 to 4 bedrooms with a real backyard. And that's increasingly hard to find under $900,000 anywhere else in San Diego County. The lifestyle up here is different. It's warmer in the summer, noticeably warmer than the coast. The vibe is also more spread out, more family oriented, and you're going to be doing more driving in general. But here's something a lot of people miss. North County has some of the best breweries in all of San Diego. So if you're into the craft beer scene, this area punches way above its weight. And you're not nearly as far away from the coast as people assume. Oceanside is a straight shot from both San Marcos and Escondido, so you've still got beach access when you want it without paying coastal prices to live there. The commute is the big consideration. If you work downtown or in South San Diego, you're looking at a significantly daily drive, especially during peak hours. That's the honest trade-off for this area. But for buyers working in North County or remotely, this area delivers a lot of home and a lot of lifestyle for the money. San Marcos and Escondido work well for buyers who want the most home for their money and are either working remotely, work in North County, or don't mind a long commute. It's a strong option for growing families who want space and value. It's not the right fit for someone who commutes daily to, let's say, downtown or South San Diego and values a short drive over square footage. That trade-off has to be worth it for you. Next up, La Mesa, and specifically the 91942 zip code. La Mesa has a really unique feel compared to a lot of San Diego neighborhoods. It's got character. The village area downtown has local shops, restaurants, and a walkable stretch that gives it a small town vibe, even though it's minutes from the 8 and the 125 freeways. For buyers who want something with personality and established roots, La Mesa delivers. On pricing, you're gonna find a mix here. Detached homes in the 91942 zip code often fall in the high 700s into the high 800s. These tend to be older homes. Think of mid-century ranch styles, some with original features, with some slight updating. If you're the type of buyer who can see past the cosmetic stuff and focus on the bones and the location, there's value here. Condos are also a mix, typically at lower price points, which makes La Mesa accessible across a few different budget levels. Now, here's something that's really important to know about this area. An overwhelming majority of the homes in this zip code are built before 1970, and that means most of them have cast iron plumbing. At this point, the cast iron is at the end of its useful life, which means for you as a buyer, you're likely going to have to replace it or repair it on your dollar at some point. And that's not a small expense. The other trade-offs to be aware of, some areas in this zip code sit close to the freeway, so noise can be a factor depending on the specific street. And while La Mesa has strong central east access, it's not going to feel like living on the coast or in a brand new master plan community. That's just not what this area is. La Mesa is a great fit for buyers who value character, established neighborhoods, and solid access to Central and East County without paying coastal prices for it. It works well for people who appreciate older homes and don't mind putting in a little work over time. It's not the right call if you're set on new construction, modern finishes out of the box, or a coastal lifestyle, obviously. If those are non-negotiables, this one is not gonna be a match for you. Just stay away from both parts of La Mesa, as a matter of fact. And last but not least, neighborhood number 5, Serra Mesa. If location is the single most important thing to you, this neighborhood deserves a very close look. Serra Mesa sits right in the middle of everything. You've got the 15, the 163, and the 805 all within reach. Kearny Mesa, Mission Valley, downtown, Hillcrest, all of these areas are a short drive from Serra Mesa. For a first-time buyer who works somewhere central, the commute advantage here is hard to beat. On the pricing side, condos in Serra Mesa often fall in the low 600s to the mid 700s, which makes this one of the more accessible entry points in a truly central San Diego location. For detached homes, the starting price in this area is going to be in the low 900s to get started. You're not going to find much below that unless it needs a major overhaul inside, in which case you're going to be competing with investors. So if your budget is firmly under 900, you're more likely to look at condos or townhomes, which is still a strong play given the location. Now, here's something I tell my clients all the time. If you want Clairemont, but you're priced out of the area, take a look at Serra Mesa. It's priced slightly better with practically the same model homes that first-time buyers typically start with. You're slightly farther from the beach, true, but the price difference between the two areas may be enough to get you into a detached home in Serra Mesa that you couldn't afford in Clairemont, and that's a real trade-off worth considering. Serra Mesa is going to be ideal for buyers who put centrality at the top of their list, and especially for anyone who's been eyeing Clairemont but can't quite make the numbers work. If you want to be close to everything and you're comfortable with a condo or a compact detached home, this area checks a lot of boxes. It's not the right fit if you're looking for a quiet suburban retreat with a large yard or a coastal lifestyle. That's definitely not going to be the right fit. Serra Mesa is a utility play, and there's nothing wrong with that if it aligns with how you actually live. Now, before we wrap up, I want to be straight with you about something. Buying under $900,000 in San Diego requires compromise. Every single neighborhood I just walked you through has its trade-offs, as we covered. There is no perfect area in this price point. If someone tells you there is, they're either selling you something or they don't really know San Diego. The goal here is not perfection. The goal is alignment and finding an area that lines up with how you actually live, your commute, your daily routine, your priorities, and getting into a home at a payment that doesn't stretch you to the breaking point. That's the move we're trying to get at here. If you're actively looking to get into your first home and trying to narrow down which area makes sense for you, I'd love to help. Book a strategy call with me and we'll walk through which neighborhood fits your income, what your actual monthly payment would look like, and what inventory is currently available in your price band, and how competitive things are right at that moment. It's a clarity call, not a sales pitch. The link is in the description below. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps more people find this channel and it helps me to keep putting out more content like this. My contact info is in the description below. Feel free to reach out to me directly to help you with your next move. As always, I'm Karl, your San Diego realtor. I'll see you in the next video.